Hey guys. Um since last I guess it was this week, the first part in the confirmation bias uh response video somehow or another got mixed up with the second part, and I uploaded the second part twice. So I'm going to go over the first part again, God help me, because the first part is really the most important, or I guess, the baseline for the rest of the other videos. Hopefully the other videos will make more sense with this first part. This is in response to Kyva Go's comment on my cyberpsych video. So, confirmation bias, also known as confirmatory bias, is a tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms one's pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. It is a type of cognitive bias. If you don't know what that is, that's deviation from normal rationality and judgment, whereby inferences about other people and situations may be drawn in an illogical fashion. um, so, it's a type of cognitive bias and a systematic error of inductive reasoning, which is reasoning from, they call it from the bottom up. Deductive reasoning is what you would study in law, where you try to establish premises before you make any sorts of judgments or statements about whatever it is you're thinking or talking or whatever about. Inductive reasoning is the opposite. So that would be trying to figure something out from your beliefs. So people also tend to interpret evidence supporting their position. Bias, search, interpretation, and memory have been invoked to explain the attitude polarization, which is when a disagreement becomes more extreme even though the parties are exposed to the same evidence. Belief perseverance, when beliefs persist after the evidence for them is shown to be false. And the irrational primacy effect, which the primacy effect is, if I show you a group of numbers, or say like list of addresses, show it to you for, these are all backwards, that ain't gonna help. If I show you a set of numbers, a series of numbers, you're more likely to remember the first series first, and forget the other sets of series. It's called the primacy effect. And illusory correlation, where people falsely perceive an association between two events. So illusory correlation would be like, you're sick, you've got a potential trouble, you've got a SP in your life, because the only reason you're sick is because you're PTS. That's illusory correlation in Scientology. A series of psychological experiments in the 60s suggested that people are biased towards confirming their existing beliefs. It mentions apophenia, so I wanted to tell you what that is. Apophenia is the tendency to attribute meaning to perceived connections or patterns between seemingly unrelated things. Confirmation bias is a variation of apophenia. So, the belief perseverance is, I guess I don't know. You'd have to look at Chris Sheldon's sources probably. Uh, he sources his material a lot better than I do. But the average time for someone to recover from a cult is like 10 years or something. The belief perseverance, like I left in 2004 church, and it was about 2013 that I finally like discarded or replaced my beliefs. So belief perseverance, when beliefs persist after the evidence for them is shown to be false. That, the evidence was shown to be false many times in those 10 or 9 years after I left. But I still used the inductive reasoning, using my my own beliefs to try to explain what's going on. And the stronger you believe something, the stronger the confirmation bias. In other words, the more you're going to try to figure it out using your beliefs instead of, and the more you're going to have illusory correlations, and also, which is also kind of like apophenia. So, yeah, this actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The first video I did probably was a little too much. It was 20 minutes long. I don't think I needed to do it that long. I mean, essentially, confirmation bias is the tendency to recall information that confirms your belief. So that, confirmation. And the bias would be trying to find a way to make it fit your beliefs. So yeah, I mean, it's like polarizing. I hope that's good enough. And I hope that leads well into the part 2 and 3, because I made those 2 days ago. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe if you're interested in and you like the content. I've also got a Patreon page up now. It's way too early and I haven't had enough coffee. The Patreon page is /Wogworld. So patreon.com/Wogworld. And I also have a Discord for those of you savvy enough to know what that is. And if you ever want to chat on my VoIP server, you can get that information from the Patreon page. If it's not there, send me a message on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's there, though. I'm new to the whole Patreon thing. But that is confirmation bias. It's a type of cognitive bias. In studying psychology, there is a lot of overlapping terminology. Words that seem to mean the same thing, coined by different people or whatever. So, yeah, it's confirming your own belief, confirmation bias, and it's a perpetuation. It's a perpetuating thing, because when you confirm something, like say you're sick and you know that there's an SP around, and you do a search and discovery for the SP, which is a Scientology process, and then you locate the SP, and then you either handle or disconnect from the SP. And let's say by that time, it took you a week or so to find the SP, and then a day or two to think about how to handle them, and then you go and handle them, and it's been almost 2 weeks, and then your sickness has run its course. The belief perseverance will be reinforced. So the effect is stronger the more you confirm these illusory correlations for your particular belief, because you confirm your belief, and therefore it creates this bias. So it stacks. It stacks. The more you do it, the more powerful it is. So, on to the next video that was already published. Hopefully, this will help it all make sense. Thanks.